Design a brand new engine and a transmission, body on frame, collaboration between Mana and MRV, and between Mahindra Design Studio and Pininfarina. All are known. Yet there are few things that you have not caught on to yet, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. Let me take you back to the journey. It was 4 years back that we decided that there was a very sharp space available in the UV space where we did not have a very strong offering. A product planning team got into action to visualize a product that will not be a me-too product and a product that will appeal to a wide range of customers. And an interesting idea from a skunk project that we are doing in MRV, we thought was very disruptive. It was very disruptive, something that has not been done before, and we'll tell you in a minute. And we also zeroed in on a never-before idea of using Sharp as the inspiration for the design. And just about that time, we're also setting up Mana in Detroit. And we decided, why not use Mana as the center for designing, for engineering this product. And perhaps first time ever, a product targeted primarily for the Indian market has been engineered in Detroit. Sort of like reverse offshoring. We are also strengthening at that time our relationship with Pininfarina, and we decided that it would be nice to collaborate on design between our design studio in Kandivali, Mumbai, and Pininfarina. And so a complex collaboration between Mana, MRV, Pininfarina, Mahindra Design Studio got kicked off. And then we said, what about the engine and transmission? We didn't want to put our old engine into this vehicle. To get the best-in-class efficiency, the lowest noise, the best performance, we started a new engine development, a collaboration again between MRV and AVL. And let me now fast forward to today. After hundreds of engineers spending 4 years, hundreds of suppliers, some of you are here with us, working with us during this time, and after spending $200 million, we present to you a product that we are very proud of. But as I always say, we prepare for this exam. We prepare for 4 years. And today is a day of first verdict, a verdict from all of you. And starting tomorrow, the final verdict, the verdict from our customers, will get started. We are confident. We are confident of what we are offering, but I must admit, somewhat nervous at the same time, because we don't really know how the world will see fruit of our labor. We have brought you to Nashik today. Nashik is where I started my Mahindra journey. First time ever we did a launch in Nashik, for which you were invited, was on June 19th, 2002, when we launched the Scorpio. And with your support and support from our customers, we created history with the Scorpio, and we have an iconic product in the form of Scorpio. I'm standing here in front of you with an expectation that we will repeat history, and 10 years from now, we'll look back to this day when another icon was born, the Marazzo. I hope you will not only like the product, but also the way we are presenting it to you. So without taking any further time, let me invite Vijay Nakra, Chief of Sales and Marketing of Auto Division, to come and take you through the product and give you all the details, some of which you know and some of which you don't know. Thank you once again.
Good morning. Thank you, Dr. Goenka. The Shark-inspired Marazzo has been designed by the Mahindra Design Studio in collaboration with Pininfarina. The vehicle augurs a design language fit for the new generation vehicles from the house of Mahindra. The design is inspired by nature's marvel of creation, the shark. The various linkages between the Marazzo and the shark was presented to many of you all at the name reveal press conference about a month ago, post which a host of visuals we put out in social media and in the digital world to create that link with the shark. But we are here today to bring all of that and more to life. Marazzo has been the first product engineered by Mahindra's global development team at MANA in Detroit and MRV in Chennai. The mission was to design a vehicle with many class-leading attributes to global engineering standards. A product with quality and refinement that demonstrates Mahindra's DNA in a modern yet practical manner. So in short, the collaborative working between global experts across 3 continents has led to the birth of the Marazzo, a global product engineered for excellence. Now, when I talk about engineering excellence, what do I mean? I'm going to try and put that into 4 key areas. It's about a product that has best of both world architecture, a next generation engine, surround cool technology, and the shark-inspired design. At this stage, let me call upon my colleagues, Keith Takasawa from MANA and the chief engineer of this product, and Velu Swami, the head R&D for the auto business. Welcome. Welcome.
Thanks, Vijay.
Keith, what's going on here? My understanding is, for a frame-based vehicle, the engine is normally placed north-south. What's wrong here? Why is it east-west?
Well, actually, Vijay, there is nothing wrong here, just the wrong question. Something here is very, very right. So the Mahindra engineering team has engineered this innovation for Marazzo. Our team has come together to create the world's first architecture for packaging efficiency, space utilization, refinement, and durability. And only Marazzo has this world's first transverse engine, front-wheel drive architecture, resulting in the balance of comfort, ride quality, spaciousness, and ruggedness. This is unmatched anywhere in the world by any other vehicle.
So from a customer's point of view, we're talking about a product that offers a fantastic, smooth ride with great handling, and at the same time, the durability and toughness of a frame-based vehicle. Best of both the worlds. But Keith, again, when we talk about frame-based vehicles, does that not throw a challenge of step in height into the vehicle? And especially since we know that in India, the traditional dress for women are saris. Have we done anything to address this issue?
Well, Vijay, you're absolutely right. And we did think about this issue. Now, most teams would probably have just said, good enough is good enough, but not the Mahindra Global Engineering team. So through the use of thoughtful and clever engineering, like the east-west engine, we got rid of the propeller shaft, we got rid of the rear drive axle, and therefore we could reduce the height of the floor of the Marazzo to allow easy step in and step out And we also got a completely flat floor along with that, something that has not been done elsewhere.
Fantastic. Keith, no wonder, when I was looking at the range of accessories that we would offer on the Marazzo, somehow I didn't see a side step in that.
That's correct, Vijay. And not only that, this unique architecture delivers the spacious feeling of a limousine as a result of this transverse mounted engine. And the Marazzo achieves all this despite being shorter in length than other vehicles in its class. So if you are looking for space, Marazzo has plenty of it. This cabin has enough room to accommodate 8 people, 6 feet tall like myself, in comfort. And at the same time provides best-in-class first and second row shoulder room. Also, Marazzo comes in 2 seating configurations, a 7 and an 8-seater, with captain's chairs and bench seats, both with one-touch fold and tumble second row seat for easy access into the third row. And the second seats can be moved forward and backward, as well as be reclined.
So you can carry your whole world in the Marazzo.
That you can.
Keith, tell me, why is the roof of the Marazzo looking like that of an aircraft?
Well, BJ, we actually have made it just like the roof of an aircraft. One of the complaints in 3-row vehicles is that the third row passenger does not get the same cooling as the front or even second row passengers. That's why we went out of our way to address this issue through the industry-first surround cool technology, which distributes airflow throughout the cabin. It gives the second and third row passengers the option of either direct or diffused airflow, whichever they prefer, and helps give Marazzo the fastest cooling down in the segment.
So with the luxurious ample space, the easy step in and step out, and surround cool technology, Marazzo, when it comes to comfort, will be really hard to beat. So, Velu,
Hi.
tell us a little bit about this next-gen engine.
Absolutely.
What is it and what is the benefit to our customer?
This is just like I'm standing on the ocean where shark is playing. This engine has so much of technologies that when you ride our vehicle, you will just love it. This is amazing technology. Let me put some explanations of this technology in the few minutes that I have. When we started the east-west layouting of this engine, we figured it out. We need a very compact and a lightweight engine. And then we found a new generation engine is needed. We designed a new generation engine with very compact and high power density. Hence, the whole engine and transaxle have to be together developed. And the main focus for this engine and transaxle development threefold. The friction reduction is one of the topic on this engine. Then the weight reduction was another topic in order to achieve the overall CO2 levels, and the refinement or the NVH performance, class-leading NVH performance was the third topic. When it comes to performance of this engine, it delivers 123 PS out of 1.5 liter engine at as low as 3,500 RPM because we are using a 6-speed transaxle, so we'll have to get the power early on. It delivers 82 PS per liter, class-leading performance. Not only that, this engine delivers 300 Newton meter as low as 1,600 RPM, enabling excellent low-end city drivability. It also delivers 93% of its torque at 1,300 RPM, so it's a powerful low-end torque engine. Coming to the refinement, we achieved the class-leading refinement and NVH performance using multiple technologies. Particularly, the one technology that I'm proud of is first time we are introducing is crank offset technology that reduces the block vibrations by 38%. And a scissor gear technology that we developed in-house that reduces the rattle between two machine cam gears. And we used an advanced dual mass flywheel technology that filters the torsional vibrations from going to the gearbox. That reduces the rattle. So overall, we could bring the complete refinement from the powertrain. All of this led to 11 innovations that we have applied for our patent, Jay.
And of course, it is married to a 6-speed transmission. Let's not forget that.
Absolutely.
So, Venu, what about the noise levels in the vehicle?
So having done that refined powertrain, we attempted to do it at the vehicle level, and we could achieve 43 dB in-cabin noise at low level. When you crank the engine, you wouldn't hear whether the engine is running or not. And that has several multiple things that have gone into the vehicle. We improved the chassis stiffness in torsion and bending by 160% compared to our existing frames and chassis. We improved the body in white torsion stiffness by 2.3 times. That gives a very stiff body. It helps NVH, it helps ride and handling, it helps safety. We used shear mounts instead of conventional compression mounts between the PIW and the frame that reduced significant input going from the road to the body. So it makes your ride absolutely smooth and refined.
So all in all, cruise in a quiet comfort cabin.
Absolutely.
Venu, moving on, we take pride in talking about how we build safe vehicles for our customers. Would you like to share with the audience, what is it that we've done in this vehicle with regards to safety?
No doubt, we meet the norms, safety norms. We go beyond the norms. We also meet pedestrian protection norms ahead of advanced regulations. And we meet side crash norms, which is not applicable to this class of vehicle. We also meet rear crash norms. This is also not applicable to this class of vehicles, but we meet all the norms.
And will you tell us a little bit more about what else you have to offer in terms of safety, in terms of airbags, and some of the other features?
So this vehicle offers dual front airbag. It also offers the rear cameras and sensors, and the rear camera gives you guiding lines in the infotainment screen as you reverse and maneuver it. The guiding lines also tilt according to the reversing.
And of course, we just also shared with the audience that all the 4 wheels come with disc brakes.
Absolutely, these all 4 wheels come with disc brakes, and also it has ISO fix for child seat mounting, and it comes in all variants.
So great. All in all, the Marazzo is safe and sound for all our customers.
We have some more.
Oh, really? Tell us about that, Velu.
In addition to these safety features that you have seen, Marazzo offers first-in-class emergency call, an advanced safety feature that connects your phone to emergency services in the event the airbags are deployed, and send an alert SMS to your friends, relatives, along with your location.
So thank you, Keith, and thank you, Velu, for sharing with everyone how you all have designed a fantastic product for our customers. Thank you very much. Thank you. Moving on, let me share with you all what we spoke about in terms of the design inspiration. And like I said, a lot of this has been shared before, but some of the things, let me repeat and share a lot more with you all. When it comes to the front look of the vehicle, the chrome inserts in the grille look like the teeth of the shark, which adds to the overall aggressive look of the vehicle. And that design cues flow further into the tail lamp. And not just that, even if you see the side of the vehicle, you can see strong body side character inspired from the shark. The vehicle also has a host of other design elements to be spoken about, which include the twin chamber projector headlamp, 17-inch alloy wheels. We have DRLs on our fog lamps with cornering lamp technology, and of course the power folding ORVMs with turn indicators. When we showed the Marazzo to many of our potential customers, the response that we received from all of them was really overwhelming. As we move further, talking about the interiors of the Marazzo, while we spoke all about the space it has to offer, there's another very, very important element that builds the character of the interiors of the Marazzo, and that's the plush interiors. The seats have been designed and contoured for excellent comfort, especially over long drives. Also, when we talk about premium interiors, the vehicle houses an IP and instrument panel which comes with dual tone interiors of piano black and with pearl white and chrome inserts to add to the premium nature of the vehicle. There are some other very interesting features to be spoken about. When we talk about the instrument cluster, it's a techie, cool purple instrument cluster which comes with a purple theme, 3D light guides, and an animated TFT technology. Some of the other interior features include, besides the regular features that one would find in vehicles of this category, but I'd like to talk about two things. One, in this vehicle we offer first-in-class sunshades integrated into the trim for the second row, and a handbrake or a parking lever which is actually inspired from an aircraft. When we talk about technology, the Marazzo hosts a 7-inch touchscreen infotainment system which is super responsive with the haptic and CapSense technology. And of course, needless to say, the vehicle has Android Auto to keep you connected at all times. The vehicle also does come with a driver information system which provides all the information that the driver needs to assist in the journey while using the vehicle. And last but not the least on technology, the vehicle also comes with many other technology features which include DigiSense, cruise control, and eco mode, and the voice control feature for the driver. And of course, no vehicle is complete without some stunning colors to add to the beauty of the vehicle. And when it comes to Marazzo, we have 6 colors, 3 new colors: an aquamarine, a marina maroon, a Poseidon purple, and of course we have an iceberg white, an oceanic black, and a shimmering silver. So all in all, ladies and gentlemen, the Marazzo is a product engineered for excellence with a bold head-turning design, providing a host of features for our customer. At this stage, let me take the opportunity to invite Mr. Anand Mahindra, the chairman of the Mahindra Group, on stage. We all know that Mr. Mahindra always has an interesting spin on things. So let's hear from him about the launch of the Marazzo. Welcome, Anand.
I was a little nervous about being circled by this creature here. But you know, I've never been to South Africa, right? You can go down in the cage. Maybe I can try and get close to this one. That's about the closest I'm going to get to a shark ever, I think, in my life. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2002, we launched the Scorpio here in this very plant. And just before the launch, I got an attack of laryngitis and lost my voice. People who were here at that time might remember that. I think Adil said you were here, Hormuz was here. And that vehicle turned out to be a game changer for Mahindra. Of course, what I said was that I was speechless. And that's why I couldn't say anything. But after that, I've never really prepared a speech for a launch. I've always been hoping secretly that I'd lose my voice again and perhaps have the kind of luck we did with the Scorpio. So what I'm going to do is very simple. I'm just going to share with you a few anecdotes from what I think were milestone launches, starting with the Scorpio, the XUV, and then share an anecdote about the Marazzo, which frankly I think is also a milestone launch for this company. Starting with the Scorpio, I remember that I got a call from Alan Durant, who was the head of the auto business 3-4 years before we launched the Scorpio. And he was meant to be working with Pawan on building an incremental 13-seater vehicle. It was part of an engineering design change project. And Alan said, Anand, I want you to come over to the factory and just take a look at something. And when I went over there, he took me to the desk of a 25-year-old IIT design graduate. And in the screen in front of him was a rendering of the Scorpio, not of the incremental commander type 13-seater that I thought we were working on. And I remember distinctly telling everyone there that this is not the IDAM project, this is the future of the company. And that always has stuck in my mind. It was a step change for Mahindra in ambition, a leapfrog in technology. And then you fast forward to when we were designing the XUV 500. And I now recall another story where again I came back right here to take my first look at the prototype of the XUV. And I had a young intern with me who had flown with me from Mumbai. He must have been about 25 years old. And we walked in to the shop here where Kripa and her team had put the prototype. And this kid came in and he just stopped in his tracks and he said, wow. My jaw dropped too. Because that vehicle took a leap of faith in design. It was bold, it went where no one had gone before in design, and it elicited that wow. And ever since then, we've never really been comfortable until we can get somebody to walk in, take a look at a vehicle and say, wow. You've not always succeeded, but that's what we always try to do. But the XUV took us not just from sheer ambition and leapfrogging in technology, it took us into the realm of high design, of recognizing that people loved things of beauty. We had to stop the bookings of the XUV. Many of you will remember that. Because we couldn't cope with the kind of demand that was coming out. And a lot of that was purely because people loved what they saw. So Mahindra's romance with design began there. And now I want to come to the Marazzo. And the anecdote here refers to some years ago when I was in Detroit. Manor had just been set up. Rick Haas, the head of Manor, took me for a ride on the mule of the U321, as we called the Marazzo, as we codenamed it. And we went out onto the highway, and he had slapped some kind of body on it. I think it was the Xylo body, if I'm not wrong, on top of this mule. And he said, Anand, I want you to just feel the experience of riding this car. And he told me about the front-wheel drive transverse engine on ladder frame technology that was going to be unique. And he said, you've got to see how it feels, how it rides. And we went out onto the expressway just outside Manor, and I drove that car. But forget the feeling of the car. It was very comfortable. All of you are going to ride it. But out there in Detroit, I was like a little kid. I was sitting next to Rick Haas, driving down an expressway in a car that was designed for India. And I got a big rush of blood, and I suddenly had a sense, so this is what globalization is all about. Pawan has talked about this, so has Vijay. What the Marazzo has done is signaled Mahindra's process now, which is global, truly global in its nature, in its scope, in its competencies. We have MRV, which many of you have seen, and which is world-class in its own right. We have Mahindra Automotive North America, starting out with a handful of people and now over 120 talented engineers, because we wanted to tap into that experience. We have tremendous talent in MRV, but what the US has is a track record, is a learning curve of experience that we wanted to tap into, and we did very successfully. And then along came Pininfarina. And as Pawan said, we triangulated between the three. And this was a cultural change. This was not just about technology. This was about how do you get 3 points in a globe to talk to each other, to cooperate, to collaborate, to build something new, and to do it with equal passion. And I think we licked that problem. So what we have now is the confidence that we can once again use this neural network of R&D, of development that we talk about, to deliver our products. Speaking of Pininfarina, that gives me a cue into design. Now we've got the shark. A lot of you might be tempted to think, is this a little frivolous? Is this a little flippant? What's all the big deal about the shark? So let me try and tell you why. Why the shark? And to do that, I first have to recapitulate Mahindra's view of the automotive landscape in the future. Some of you who were at the TUV 300 launch will remember that I laid out that landscape at that time. What we see going forward is that there will be three very different areas in the automotive industry that one will play in. The first will be the commoditized end, where ride-sharing and ride-sharing fleets will be dominant. People who use the Ubers and the Olas do not care what car they're in. They want to get from point A to point B. There will be OEMs making vehicles for those fleets, but they will be commoditized, they will be electric, and they will have to do with efficiency and price. And then there's going to be a segment where cars are objects of desire, where people buy them because they're expressions of their personality, of their lifestyle. Those cars have to be exciting. They have to make you want to buy them. And finally, the third area, which I'm proud to say Mahindra hopes to participate in too, is what I call objects of obsession. The extreme market of luxury, of very, very premium vehicles, where Automobili Pininfarina will play, and where we did our first private viewings in Pebble Beach last week, and I was privileged to be there. And I have great faith that that venture is going to pay off. But let me get back to the second segment, the objects of desire. What is the vehicle we're building here today? It's a family vehicle. It's a people carrier. It's got 7 to 8 seating capacity. It's for families. You go back into the history of the automobile, my recollection is that it was the Renault Espace that really came out with that kind of configuration. Renault never really capitalized in it. Chrysler did with the Voyager. But those cars became known as the cars for soccer moms. They were functional. They were utilitarian. They were meant, again, to ferry kids back and forth. I wouldn't really call them vehicles that had personality and passion. So what was Mahindra's challenge? Our challenge was, how do we take this segment and make it exciting? Because in the future, if we're going to have to play in that second segment, you have to give a car personality. And so we turned to a very time-honored tradition in the auto business, which is to look to the animal kingdom for inspiration. And frankly, that's been a time-honored practice for the automotive industry. We have always in the industry drawn on the natural engineering and natural design that nature gives us for inspiration. You have cars called the Mustang, the Cougar, the Puma, the Bronco, because everyone sees inspiration in the natural world. And we went for that too. When you look at the configuration of this car, the shark came to mind instantly. And what do people look for in this kind of vehicle? They look first and foremost for safety. They look for a smooth ride. They look for agile handling on a highway. And they look for durability. Take a look at the shark. The shark's natural body design gives it lift and reduces drag, much as cars look for in the atmosphere. They get that same experience underwater. Sharks, interestingly, live the longest amongst the species of fish. Some Greenland sharks live up to 300 years. And the reason they do is because they don't have any predators that prey on them. The only superior predator in the ocean is the blue whale. The shark is unchallenged. The shark is smooth, it's silent, and it's unchallenged. So if I'm going to put my family into a car which is a people carrier, I want it to be smooth, I want it to be silent, I want it to endure, but above all, I want it to be unchallenged. That's the kind of excitement that we want to build in here, ladies and gentlemen, which is why all this fuss about the shark. What we are trying to do is to infuse excitement into this segment, which no one really has done before. So all of us out here at Mahindra are optimistic that the Marazzo is going to swim through the waters of its segment smoothly, silently, unchallenged, and for many, many years. Now, having spoken and waxed eloquent about all this imagery, there's one very functional feature, one very utilitarian feature that remains to put together the entire Marazzo painting, and that is the price. So Vijay, what is the price?
I'm going to share that, Anand.
As they say in game shows, Rajan, come on down.
Just behind you. Good afternoon. To let out the suspense of the price, I think it would be appropriate I share with all of you what is our variant in strategy. As normally happens, few variants get created. We've also created what we call it as an M2 variant. I would little rather hate to call it a base variant, but that's what it will get taken for. However, I'm very happy to share with you that real top of the line features are there in the base variant. As Vijay mentioned, we have this surround cool technology of the cooling. We have disc brakes on all the wheels, very high-tech cluster with driver information system to change information available to him, dual airbags, eco-driving mode. All these things are packed in the base model, what we call it as the M2. And then we have the next variant, we call it as M4. This M4 is really an M2 plus. That's wherein the very powerful infotainment and connectivity system kicks in. We live up to our BlueSense, DigiSense, voice messaging, Bluetooth, ORVMs electrically actuated, and a lot of more features. Small additions are there to M4. Then we have the M6 variant. Our M6 variant is about an M2 plus an M4 and a host of other features. That's when, as Vijay says, the CAD sense and the real haptics induced designed touchscreen infotainment, which is very interactive, kicks in. We have steering mounted controls and above all a very essential feature of an emergency call, all packed in an M6 variant. Then of course the top of the line variant is our M8 variant. It's a beauty personified with daylight running lights. It's 17-inch big wheels, give you extreme driving comfort. We just spoke about Android Auto, something that we can't live without. It has to be there. Top of the line infotainment box, and above all, plush, very comfortable leather seats. So with this, we have M2, M4, M6, and M8 for you. So I don't want to hold the suspense of the price too long. Any guesses? No? So then let's look at it. Can we have the price rollout, please? So friends, we have the M2 at 9.99, the M4 at 10.95, the M6 at 12.4, and M18 at 13.9. And these are very good prices. They are the introductory launch prices, and I'm sure each one of you would be delighted at this price that we have for you. Thank you very much. So friends, we move over to our next session of Q&A, and I would invite Anand, Pawan, Vijay to come and share the stage with me for the questions that you may have of us.
I have to leave. I'll go.
Shark?
Anand still is fascinated by this shark. Aishwarya, can you take a picture of me just petting the shark, if you don't mind? I want to send it to my wife here. I can see the headline being something different. Anand Mahindra catching a shark.
I'm wearing it on my body.
Okay, open for questions. Can you get some lights? Yeah, please.
Yeah, can we get a mic there, please, very quickly?
Hi, my name is Amit Changani from Motoroids. My question is, what's the warranty with the car, the standard warranty?
And the warranty.
Yeah, it comes with a 300,000 warranty as a standard warranty.
Which is best in class?
Yeah, it's best. It's about best in class, and I think what's also important is while we launch this, just besides having a standard warranty, we have an absolutely wow we can say, engineered for financial benefit annual maintenance contract, which is available at as good a value of almost 0.9 rupees per kilometer.
And is this extendable?
Yes, it is extended.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, hi. My name is Jitendra Kothari here. Is there an automatic transmission option in any of the variant?
Yeah, so we are working on it, and with the BS6 coming in, we will have the automatic version coming.
Dr. Goenka, Sumantra here.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Is there a scope of sharing the Marazzo with SsangYong also?
There is definitely scope, but as of now, that's not part of the product plan for SsangYong.
And also the prices that were shown, these are the 7-seater if I'm not wrong. What's the difference between this and the 8-seater versions?
It's a very marginal 5,000 rupees.
I thought nobody will see that small print. The small print, huh?
This is Shruti Calcutta. Whom do you think the competitor for this segment, for Marazzo?
Who's the competitor for it? So, now just to give you a little bit of a background before I come to that, somehow in Mahindra we always have the knack of launching products without, that kind of creates its own category and segment. So frankly, if you look at it in terms of the value package and the product and the proposition that we've created, we really believe it will create a segment of its own. We don't see an impact of that either in terms of cannibalization to us. And the way we see it, it's a passenger vehicle which provides an extremely great value for 7/8 people. That's the way we see it.
Hi, Anand. Wanted to see the real vehicle. We've seen the shark now. When are we going to see that? Just wanted to understand what kind of an impact do you see on your own product portfolio with this new product? Because obviously you coming in with a completely new all-design product. So what happens to the Scorpio and the XUV? Do you think that cannibalization is serious? Could be a serious issue over here?
Pankaj, one of the things that we have been always very careful that in a segment called UV, we are able to create sub-segments that are fairly distinct. So if you're really looking at this product, the Marazzo, and want to buy this product as a family vehicle, as a personal transport vehicle, as a business vehicle, typically these people will not be considering an XUV or a Scorpio. That is around the price point of this vehicle. And from the time that we have launched our products, starting with Scorpio, we have had the fortune of not having much cannibalization. So when a customer walks in, we don't say the customer shopping at 3 or 4 different products of Mahindra. It is always that one product. And we do believe that this product has enough distinction from the 2 other products in that price range, the Scorpio and XUV, of course, much higher price range. That we don't say much, I would say much cannibalization. Of course, some will always be there, but our belief is that it will not be too much. And for us, we have carefully defined this segment, as I said, in product planning 4 years ago, to ensure that there is a separate niche that we are creating. The same is true for S201, which will be launching later in the year, where again, we don't have a product in that segment.
So do we see a petrol variant coming on Marazzo soon?
Yes, as I said, we are working on, by the time a BS6 comes, there would be a gasoline version that will come.
Yeah, as you know, that BS6 is just about 1 year, 1.5 years away.
April 2020.
And we didn't want to launch too many variants right now because it's very expensive to do BS4 and then BS6. So we have saved the gasoline engine and the automatic transmission to be launched along with BS6.
Hi, Sumant here, right here. Sir, Mahindra has been losing market share in the utility vehicle space. In fiscal 2018, you also lost the crown to Maruti Suzuki. There is expectation that beginning with the Marazzo, you will try to claw back your presence in the market. So what is the expectation from this vehicle in terms of sales, outright sales, and how critical it is for you to get the crown back?
Well, very difficult to quantify market share going forward given the dynamics of the industry. And of course, market share is an outcome which depends on also what competition does. But from our standpoint of view, we have a fungible capacity between the Marazzo and the S201, which is about 8,000 vehicles, 8 to 9,000 vehicles per month. Depending on demand, we can work around that. And then, of course, we also have the Y400 launch. So I think with the combination of all these three product launches, we believe we'll probably add 9 to 10,000 vehicles to our portfolio. And I guess that will give a substantial increase in market share.
As you can imagine that we have a lot of discussion on market share in the company, and Anand has very different views on market share. So I request Anand to give his views.
Yeah, so you use the word crown. I would say it's a crown of thorns, frankly. And we don't want to pursue that crown, because the problem with market share is that the definitions constantly change. If you go back to what a definition of an SUV was, it used to be ladder frame vehicles, you'll find Mahindra's share hasn't actually gone down. If every monocoque crossover, if every wannabe SUV is going to be counted in this, then that market share is going to continually expand. What I think all of you want is to see us make magic again, is to have a hit product. That's what you want. That's what we are focused on. I don't think Mahindra is going to be focused on market share. We're going to be focused on making sure that our products are hits and that they are lusted after by the public, and they improve our already very robust return on equity. That's Mahindra's goal.
Why is this side very quiet? Let's go on this side for a minute. Then we'll come here.
My name is Roy Pitarian. I represent Motana India. All you gentlemen emphasized a lot on this car being safe and being a family car. Why is it that you're not offering more airbags, especially when your family is sitting all around in the car?
Well, I think you would have heard my colleague Velu talk about the safety as a package. So, while airbags are active safety features, we've ensured that from a design point of view, everything required for safety is in the vehicle. Airbags do help, but the basic design needs to be robust from a safety point of view. And you heard him that when it comes to the basics of the vehicle design, it has the design of not only what is required as per regulation today, but also in terms of the future. So whether you look at the 56% in terms of the steel, the high tension steel that is used, or whether you look at various other features like disc brakes on all the four wheels, whether you talk about PET Pro, whether you talk about side impact, the vehicle is already designed for all of that.
Hi, excuse me. I just want to know why did you choose this extremely rare drivetrain with this car and not went ahead with the monocoque chassis, which you see on your very popular best-selling XUV, and give us a reason for that, please.
Why did we use ladder frame? Is that what you're...
Yes, with a front-wheel drive format.
So I think Vijay talked about it in his presentation that what we're trying to do is get best of both worlds. Ladder frame has its own advantages, as you all know, and its disadvantage. And the front wheel drive has its own advantage and disadvantage. And what we try to do is combine. First time ever anyone has done that. And it really came out of a sort of skunk project that we've done in Nasik, which led to this. Idea is not new. Idea was in prototype as far back as 50, 60 years ago. But it never made it to production. This is the first time ever.
Hence,
the idea is
very
made.
rare.
I'm sorry?
Hence, I said it was very rare to see after a very long time.
Yes.
Is it rare or unique?
Unique.
Unique, I think.
What I would say.
It's the first productionized architecture of ladder frame with east-west engine, as Pavan said, to give the best of both worlds.
And as Keith mentioned, that because of that, we have been able to take care of some of the negatives that come along with ladder frame, and yet maintain the positive of the ruggedness, the durability, and sort of ability to go anywhere that a ladder frame will give you. So in a way, it's best of both worlds. Also, it didn't come out, I think, was that it allowed us to have very high rear suspension travel.
It has the highest in the category.
Highest rear
Has the highest rear.
That again is very good. So a lot of little these things that happen, which allow.
Two more small questions on that. So would you be offering four-wheel drive with this?
No, this will not come in four-wheel drive because the moment you want to do four-wheel drive, all the advantages that we just talked about disappears. This will be a purely two-wheel drive vehicle.
And one last question. The BS6 is coming in at around 2020. Would you not thought that monocoque chassis would have made more sense? It would have helped you clear emissions and fuel efficiency test better?
Would BS6 help with higher fuel efficiency?
Again, we explained to you that that we wanted to create best of both worlds, the ladder frame as well as the front wheel drive. And we have pretty good fuel efficiency. The numbers we not talked about today, but we have managed pretty good fuel efficiency.
So this engine is BS6 compliant, is what is ready to meet BS6 compliant.
The engine is BS6 compliant, but of course there is a lot of engineering work that.
What is to do on the application on the exhaust treatment side, which will happen, which will go through a new set of validation for a BS6 cycle. But engine is BS6 compliant even now.
You mentioned about fuel efficiency with BS6. That's a very important point. And what we have done, it's not coming because of monocoque. It's coming because of lower weight. And this vehicle has a very low weight for a ladder frame vehicle, almost as good as a monocoque vehicle, because of front wheel drive, because we have taken out the propeller shaft, because we have taken out the heavy rear axle. We are getting a very good, a very low weight. And that was the reason this project was done.
Okay.
We started off saying that how do we get the weight of a monocoque on a ladder frame vehicle? We'll have to move on now. We can talk to you offline.
Sorry, I just didn't want to leave the fuel efficiency to any perception. So if I may just complete it, it's 17.6 kilometers per liter, ARAI tested. And in real world usage, it varies between 10 to 15% higher than vehicles in similar size category.
Okay, back on this side, anyone?
Sid, can we get a mic up here, please?
All right, morning gentlemen. A couple of questions. One that's a serious one that's a little bit lighter. The serious one first. You mentioned, of course, the new layout, the new drivetrain, new platform, new continent on which it's been all developed as well. So the overall cost for the project for you 321, as well as how it differs from what would typically have been an overall cost for a new vehicle.
I think Pawan did mention that cost us about $200 million. That's because we have an all-new engine, an all-new transaxle in this project. That's the kind of cost.
And how different is that from what you traditionally spent on a new product?
It depends on whether you count $1 million or rupees. The question changes.
My maths is not the best.
If I go back to Scorpio was $120 million and 550 crores. So in crores it has tripled. In $1 million it has gone up by 80%.
And I think it's also important. There has been an evolution. A lot of these regulations were not there earlier. So if you have to conform to these regulations on crash, safety, emissions, your testing, validation goes up a lot. And that's what is increasing the cost.
Kidding aside, if I was to compare to Scorpio, actually the $200 million is a very good investment number because the product is not the same as when we did Scorpio. Scorpio didn't have any high strength steel. This vehicle has 52% high strength steel. It will be hard pressed to find a vehicle in this class at this price point with 52% high strength steel. The kind of feature that you see inside, we couldn't have even imagined at the time of the Scorpio. I mean, it was not even in our radar at all that we could be thinking about the Scorpio. And the kind of launch that we are doing, we couldn't have done in Scorpio. We just had a conference room with a mic and few of us starting to talk, right? So things are very different today.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That wasn't the lighter question though, the dollar rate. The lighter question, I've heard Marazzo, and Marazzo. What's correct?
Yeah, so the correct pronunciation is Marazzo. And as you know, the origination of it comes from Basque, which is a sub-language of Spanish.
You had a better explanation of...
Well, you know, if you talk to a Spanish speaker here, he will say that it's actually Marazzo. in BAS, because in Spanish, I have a Spanish-speaking grandson now, so I'm an expert on this. But, frankly, the double Z is more Italian, but that we felt sounded and looked better. So frankly, we've created a hybrid. It's derived from the Basque, meaning short. So how do you want to say it, Sid? I'm just crowdsourcing a vote here now.
Too late.
We're saying Marazzo. It sounds lovely, doesn't it? Because when we went to Pininfarina, those guys said Marazzo. Marazzo. He said, that's fine. Pininfarina, Ferrari, you know? It's a Marazzo. Okay? You can say it for now.
Marazzo.
Marazzo. Okay.
Thank you.
Just to be clear, said the spelling in the language is Marazzo. We have changed it to Marazzo, and we have a D sound coming just before Z.
Marazzo.
So Marazzo. Everybody has to become Italian speaking now. And at the time of reveal of the name, we didn't know how to pronounce it, and you would have heard all of us say something different. Now we are all aligned.
I'm excited to see how people will pronounce it in India. I think that's part of the fun, you know. I know all of you guys put it on social media. Hormuz did. He got panned. The name got panned. Marazzo, Mavo, Yebo. Everything came out. But that's the beauty here in India, right? 10,000 pronunciations, I don't care. It'll make it a talking point. It'll make it conversational. If you had a boring name, nobody would talk about it.
And Anand, I'll give one more secret, that for the next product launch that we are going to have, the same question will be asked.
Good morning. I'm Deepanshu from Autotech Review. I wanted to ask you about, you've spoken about collaboration among all your three key centers, Detroit, Pininfarina, as well as India. Going forward, Mr. Mahindra, what's your view on collaboration, not just within your ecosystem, but also an ecosystem outside, wherein you have solutions, innovations coming in from allied sectors. So how do you see that really helping your organization, Mahindra as a group, across different products?
That's a great question, and you're right. The neural network, which we coined that phrase sometime back of R&D, we implied it within our own network, but you're absolutely right. In today's porous world, you have to absorb technology from wherever it comes. Not technology, but inspiration for the cabin, if you look at the air cooling system, was the aircraft. I think there's going to be a tremendous amount of osmosis coming in from the aircraft industry. And frankly, just if you look at it today, you can build a nuclear weapon by going onto the net. That's how porous technology is. So why wouldn't we put all our tentacles out and get technology wherever it comes from? So we're going to be very eclectic indeed. A great question.
Thank you. Okay, I think you have all forgotten that you have come here to see a vehicle. So we will have to move on to that last two questions.
So this is Sharon on your right side? On your right side, sir.
On to my right. Where?
Hand up there.
Go ahead, please.
Sir, I'm Sharon from Cogensis. I would like to ask you as to how many vehicles are you targeted to sell this year and how many next year?
I think he has already answered that question, so we will skip that. Vijay had answered that earlier. Anyone else?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. This is Akbar from Autocar India magazine. First of all, many congratulations to you guys for the new launch. Two quick questions. Firstly, the new platform, new drivetrain, everything is new on the Marazzo. So would we expect any more vehicles based on any more body styles or something based on the same platform?
Any more body styles. So once a platform gets created, it's an asset, and definitely one would like to scale up the asset with the more, but it is in the consideration. So let's see.
Thank you. One more question. As Mr. Goenka just said, that customer for XUV and the other products and the Scorpio won't be the correct customer for something like a Marazzo. It's going to be an MPV customer, not an SUV customer. So are you guys gearing up your dealerships or your training or your staffs for a different customer which is going to come for the Marazzo?
Yeah. Sure. So, I mean, just firstly, MPV, SUV, I think Anand also alluded to that. We are calling it a 7-seater passenger vehicle, and I'm sure it will find its own categorization over time. But when it comes to the customer experience, we kind of totally redefine that at our showrooms. Starting today, as we sell this vehicle, the way we'll sell it will be very, very different. We're now kind of calling our dealership's world of SUVs, where you walk in, the way we display the vehicle is absolutely different. The uniforms in which people will sell the vehicle will be very, very different. You're going to leverage technology. All of it is going to be through virtual reality, mirroring of tablet on large size screens. So it's a whole different world of SUV that the customers will experience in Mahindra.
Okay, now we'll have to move on. Last question to Murli.
Thank you, Pawan. I'm curious, you had the first baby on MRV and Pininfarina. So will the trio, are they all set to work on their next new creation?
Absolutely. There is already a product that has been kicked off in Mana, which is the next creation as you call it. And again, the same thing, the collaboration between MRV and Mana and between Pininfarina Design and our own design studio in Mumbai. So the same collaboration will continue. Once we have tasted success, we're not going to give that up so easily. Thank you very much, and we now go to the most exciting part of the afternoon. Vijay, take it from here.
Let's unveil the vehicle.